Hello and welcome. So now we're going to look at an infinite geometric sequence or series. So infinite geometry series is you're adding terms that go on forever. So you're not just adding like the first 15 terms or 1,000 terms. You keep going to infinity. And you might think, oh my God, it's going to take me an infinite number of minutes to do it. But there's a formula for it, okay? So you can find an infinite sum only if the ratio, the absolute value of ratio is less than 1. Okay? If that's the case, then the sum is a1 divided by 1 minus r. Okay? If the ratio, the absolute value of the ratio is bigger than 1, then it doesn't have a sum because it keeps getting bigger and bigger. So it's not going to give you a number. Okay, so this concept of an infinite sum is kind of interesting in math. Think of, let's say I have a piece of paper. All right, so I have a piece of paper right here. All right, so I'm going to call this 1. This is a whole piece of paper. Okay, so if I cut this in half, then this is going to be half here and half here. If I cut this in half, then this is going to be a quarter of my paper and a quarter here. I cut this in half, this is 1/8. And then this is 1/16. And this is 1/32. Right? Technically, I can keep cutting this in half for infinity. Okay? Now, if I add 1/2, this part, plus 1/4, which is this part, plus 1/8, which is this part, plus 1/16, plus 1/32, plus 1/64. For infinity, this needs to add up to this whole piece of paper. So this is going to add up to give me 1. So this is an infinite series that adds to give you just a number. Okay, so that's kind of how infinite series work. So here my common ratio is 1/2, right? Because you multiply by 1/2 each time to go to the next one. Okay, so according to this formula, let's see if it actually gives me 1. We can verify the formula. S equals A1, 1 minus R. A1 is the first term in the sequence. Then 1 minus 1/2. So this gives me 1/2 on top. 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. And 1/2 divided by 1/2 is 1. So you can see that the formula is verified with what we know about a piece of paper. All right, so let's do this example right here. Find the sum of the infinite geometric series 54 plus 18 plus 6 and so on. So this is an infinite series because you see the dot dot dots. That means it goes forever. Okay, so we need to figure out A1, that's 54. And we need to figure out the common ratio. So how do I go from one to the next? Okay, so if it's decreasing, then R is going to be less than 1. It's going to add up. If it increases, then you're in this other case, all right? So so if it's hard to see, just divide a term in the sequence by the previous one. So 18 divided by 54 gives you 1/3. 6 divided by 18 gives you 1/3. All right, so that's the common ratio. So the sum, infinite, is going to be A1, 1 minus R. 54 divided by 1 minus 1/3. 54 divided by 2/3, which is 54 times 3/2. This is 27 times 3 is 81. So that's the sum of that infinite series.